Hey, it's Rowan here from Art of Smart TV. In this video, I'm going to share 4 tips that you can use to write an incredible scholarship application so that you can win a scholarship at an Australian university. Now, each year, the universities across Australia provide millions of dollars of scholarships that are available for students. But the reality is when you've got thousands of other students applying for scholarships, how do you stand out and really differentiate yourself? And that's what we're going to cover in this video. Now, over the last 10 years, I've helped countless students write and craft really amazing scholarship applications. And additionally, each year we receive hundreds upon thousands of job applications. So we've really learned what it takes to stand out and to develop your personal brand so it's differentiated. So what's the first tip? The first tip is to start with your best. Often I'll read a scholarship application and I'll get to the very bottom, the end, and that's where the best thing about that student is finally written. I don't want to have to get to the bottom to find that, because the reality is the scholarship board probably won't get to the bottom. So you've got to put whatever is your most amazing thing right up front. It sounds obvious, but the amount of times I see this mistake is incredible. So lead with your best at the top of your application. The second tip is that good grades are not enough. Every student that's applying for these scholarships are trying to have amazing grades, and they're probably also house captains, sports captains, peer support leaders, SRC, all of those sorts of things. So if you're focusing on all of those things, the reality is you're not going to be able to differentiate yourself and stand out. So you've got to go beyond school, and the way that you do that is to look at what projects have you done outside of school? What work experience and jobs have you had? What volunteering and travel experiences have you had? And those need to be outside of school, because they're the things that are unique to you, that other people may not have done, that you can use to highlight what is unique and incredible about you. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to quantify your impact. So for example, you might be in UN Youth Parliament. Fantastic, but the scholarship board may not really have any clue what that is and why it's impressive. So you've got to tell them why it's impressive, and the best way you can do that is to quantify it. So maybe you are one of 100 young people around Australia picked to represent Australia in the UN Youth. All of a sudden, that sounds pretty incredible. Same thing, all I've done is quantify it. I've showed the competition, I've put a number to it. So where possible, put a number to what you're doing. Quantify it to show the scholarship boards why it is impressive. Now the final tip is to always tell a story. So this is tip number 4. If you're reading loads and loads of scholarship applications as a scholarship board, they'll start to blur and become one. And often they read as a list of just achievements, which is boring. So you've got to try to stand out and create a pattern interrupt, something that wakes them up when they read yours. And the best way to do that is to tell a story. It's to tell a story about an experience that you had, what you learned about yourself, what you learned about what you believe and values about leadership, the impact it had on you and the community. Tell a story, start with the story, and it'll stand out from all the other applications. So there you have it, 4 tips on how you can write an incredible scholarship application to develop a strong personal brand that differentiates yourself from the thousands of other applications for scholarships at university. If you've got more questions, pop it in the comments below. About scholarships, or just about picking universities, doing well at school, transitioning to life after school. We'd love to help and answer that question in another video. Until next week, all the best with your scholarship applications.